welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show where deception is the dish of the day. On Lee Mack's team tonight, the woman who is to Sue Perkins what Sue Perkins is to Mel Giedroyc. It's Mel Giedroyc! And a comedian who's been making people laugh for more than a quarter of a century. To put that in context, when he started, George Michael was straight, the Berlin Wall stood, and David Mitchell's jacket was in fashion. It's Bob Mortimer! Nothing wrong with it, nothing wrong with it, nothing wrong with it. And on David Mitchell's team tonight, he's the star of sitcom Citizen Khan, who came last when he appeared on Celebrity Mastermind. It's that disregard for humiliation that makes him perfect for our show. It's Adil Ray! And he's a former member of Westlife who recently spent 3 weeks in the bush. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere, but this is a family show, so work it out for yourselves. It's Cian Egan! Of course, with round one, it's Home Truths. This is where our panellists each read out a statement from the card in front of them. Now, to make things harder, they've never seen the card before. They've no idea what they'll be faced with. And it's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. Mel is first up tonight.
I once licked David Bowie's cake just to be close to him.
David.
Now, I would have thought that was not a good way of being close to him, but that was a way of being forcibly removed from his presence. So how did licking his cake bring you close to him?
Right, so, it was the 1980s. I believe it was the year of the Glass Spider tour.
Yeah.
I was working as a waitress.
In a cocktail
bar. No.
Not a Bowie song.
I was going to say, I'm sure. I'm no expert, but that's not one of his.
That much is true.
Right.
Thank you. And
so, Mel, if you were working as a waitress...
It wasn't a cocktail bar, it was a cappuccino bar, because it was the 80s. So I was working as a waitress in a cappuccino bar.
Hang on, was cappuccino popular in the 80s? Let's get this...
Yeah, they came in the 80s, didn't they?
They arrived in Port Talbot a week last Thursday.
Anyway, I'm not quite good-looking enough / slim enough to be serving at tables.
Oh,
Okay?
right.
So
did they tell you this? Did they say, I'm sorry, love, I'm sorry.
No.
I can't have you serving the customers, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're going to have to hide you round the back making the froth.
No, pretty much. I was a washer-upper in the aforementioned cappuccino bar. Now, massive excitement one day. I'm in the back doing the washing up. The word is spreading like wildfire. Bowie's in, Bowie's in, Bowie's in. I saw him in profile, sitting
How did you see him from
at
the
kitchen?
cappuccino
bar, because I could look
right.
through the door.
You were allowed...
Occasionally.
And all the customers went... she was grabbed back in again, a manic...
Get back in the chocolate sprinkles pit!
So, Bowie had ordered, let's imagine, I think it was something like a sort of a hot chocolate fudge slice, please, or something like that.
Can we get on to the licking?
Let's get on to the licking.
It's like Friday night in my house.
I thought, I'm not going to get to say hello to him because I'm not allowed to go out front and serve the man. So what can I do just to feel that I have entered him in some way?
Oh, God.
I mean, just...
Yes, that some of your DNA has
been
ingested by the great man.
Well, what sort of lick? Bearing in mind that this is very much a family show, do the lick for us now.
Plate, slice, it would have been... I'll just try and get back in the zone.
Yeah.
It would have just been a...
Right. So it's just a little lick. That's not what I imagined, actually. I thought you would go up and down it a couple of times.
No.
And it was
just a little polite lick.
A touch.
It was full of homage and reverence for the great man. And then, obviously, it went out and I never saw him again.
It wasn't long after that he was hospitalised. All right, David, what are you thinking? Could this be true?
Well, it could be true, but...
you know, she started off as a waitress, then she became, you know...
A washer-upper.
A washer-upper.
Yes.
I think it sounds so absurd and she's been so random that I think there's an element of truth to it.
personally. So what are you going to say, David? Is it truth or is it a lie?
Well, one or the other. I think on balance it's a lie.
You're going to say lie. So, Mel, licking David Bowie's cake, is it true or was it a lie?
It is a great fat true.
Yes, it's true. Mel did lick David Bowie's cake so she could feel closer to him. Bob, it's your turn.
The police once ordered me to leave town, unspecified, because I was frightening the locals.
David's team, what do you think?
Could you give us some context, Bob?
I'll give you the name of the town. It was Castle Douglas.
Ah.
Where is that?
It's southwest Scotland.
And why were you in Castle Douglas?
Was it a tour or something?
No, it was a long time ago. I was only 17, 18, that kind of age. And...
A numerical age, that kind.
Yeah.
Rather than iron or bronze. That's a different kind of age.
I was with two friends trying to get as close to the Gulf Stream as I possibly could.
What? What do you mean you wanted to get close to the Gulf Stream?
It seems such an appealing, far-off, miraculous thing, this hot stream of water so near us, that it was hard to believe in it just from the textbooks.
But it's not like a spa. It's a massive flow within the ocean.
Yeah, but
you can't see it.
Well, if you're at the Logan Botanical Gardens...
Well, there's a lovely view of the Gulf Stream.
No, but you can see the effects of the Gulf Stream. You know, it's like a tropical gardens, and so in that way you sense the influence of the Gulf Stream. Right. Well, no, it's extraordinary.
I know all teenagers are absolutely mad on the Gulf Stream. They can't get enough of it and its
And flowers.
But
that was one reason amongst many.
But the police of Castle Douglas don't mind the teenagers who'll flock there to admire the effect of the Gulf Stream. So what was it that you did that put their noses out of joint?
We scared the locals, apparently, because we were wearing very grotesque masks.
Why were you wearing masks? If you're going to gardens, why would you wear a mask?
Ah, well, here's the thing. That's a perfect question. Yeah.
Just before you answer it, have a minute.
we were travelling in a Morris Minor, and we were sleeping in the car. There was three of us. There's me mate Harry Harriman and Steve.
Steve Seaverman.
No, Steve, by the way. He was... You just called Steve, by the way.
He was. Steve, by the way. Steve, by the way, as in incidentally.
Yes. Anyway, we had these...
You're wearing these masks?
We're wearing these grotesque...
Why are we wearing these masks?
We're wearing these masks because we didn't have anywhere to sleep and we were sleeping in the car.
Right.
They'd been given us by Harry Harriman's mum, yeah, to keep us warm at night because of the heat generator.
What, grotesque latex masks?
Yes. They were just old men's masks, but they were to keep us warm. Harry Harriman's mum she sold these stuff from home, and she sold another thing which was called a jobble top, yeah, which was a bobble hat that made it into a jumper, and the big bobble was at the back and it buttoned down the front, and that was.
I'm telling you now, right? If this is a lie and they end up saying lie, I will say to you, why did you make it more difficult for yourself? by mentioning the joggle top, or whatever it was called.
Because I'm imagining my sleeping arrangements and think, yes, we had the latex masks on and these giant, like, what they're called jobble tops.
Right,
Okay. So, if you're wearing a sleeping mask and you're scaring the locals, like, normally the locals would be in bed when you're going to sleep, and it's dark, and you're in your car and you got a scary mask on, you know.
No, we were just... On our daytime drive from Dundee to Castle Douglas...
With masks on.
As we went past
Keep
people,
your faces warm.
we were staring at them with our scary masks.
Why did you not remove... Because I would say, from my experience of sleeping all night in a classic car in a latex mask and a jobble top, you get quite clammy. And so in many ways, it's quite a relief to take the latex mask off for the next day's drive.
Yes, and
not to mention how it helps being able to see where you're going.
Yeah. But no, of course, we take the masks off in the morning, but then round about midday, you wanted to put it back on.
At what point did the police get involved? Didn't the police get
We
involved?
parked up in Castle Douglas, right next to a shop, because we wanted to get one of their famous Scotch pies. As we came out of the shop, I was grabbed by a policeman, and it was a sergeant, by the way.
Sergeant, by the way. So that's how you got away with it, because you said, "No, wait, that's me, Dad."
Maybe it was.
I'm a sergeant, by the way. I think, Daddy!
So the sergeant,
By the way.
he took me to the police station, and
So he arrested you?
Yes, taken and put in a room, and then the sergeant and a plainclothes detective came in.
Plainclothes. Oh, yeah.
What? You said...
CID have now got involved.
And then they said, "You're going to have to wait here. We've sent for a specialist from Edinburgh."
And then, as we sat in, it came in and said, "Right, what's with the funny faces?" They said, "What's with the funny faces?"
So what did you say?
Well, we explained what had happened, that we had these funny faces, that we slept in them, and that we're terribly sorry to have caused any offence.
So presumably then they released you?
Sergeant, by the way, followed us till we were out of the city limits. So that's my story. It's quite a holiday.
What do you think?
I know what I think.
What do you think?
I think it's true.
You think it's true?
Yeah.
That's not what I think. Cian, what do you think?
I'm going to go untrue.
OK, Cian's going untrue. Adil's going true. David?
My initial reaction is it's a lie. Let's say it's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie?
Yeah.
Bob Mortimer.
Yes?
Was that story true? Or was it a lie?
It was true.
No faith in me twice now!
Yes, it was true. The police did order Bob to leave town because he was frightening the locals. Oh. Right, Cian is up next.
The first time Westlife sang on Top of the Pops, Louis Walsh made sure we stood up from our stools at the right time by hiding in the crowd and waving a banana above his head.
Lee's team.
What song were you singing?
It was our first #1.
Which was?
Swear It Again.
Swear it again.
Swear it again. I know it. I'm
sure you do.
So you're on a stool. I'm imagining you're on a stool, so you're doing a ballad.
Yes. All the Westlife songs are ballads, Lee.
Why did he not say to you, when you get to a key word in the song, all stand up? Why can he not trust you to do that?
Don't you know that songs are extremely repetitive?
Oh, I know yours are. No, I'm sorry.
That's what makes them work.
I'm joking.
They were moving.
I know, I'm a
They were
massive Westlife. I'm not in any way saying I wasn't. I'm simply saying, why couldn't you stand up at the key word to the song? Why couldn't he say to you, oh, I see what you mean, because you're saying the same words over and over again.
It's like there's a certain point that he wanted us to do it, but like I think the problem when it was for us is like, well, you know, you're so nervous. You're on Top of the Pops for the first time, and we were #1.
In top of the Pops world,
yeah,
I remember they always had really trendy people dancing to make the whole thing look sort of cool.
Yeah.
Did Louis look? Was he dressed trendily? Did he fit in with the audience? Was he dancing?
It was like behind the camera.
He was behind. He wouldn't be in front of the camera waving a banana, would he?
I thought he was in front of the camera waving a banana.
No.
I'm sorry. He wasn't doing that.
Because
he wasn't. He'd never
if
do
everyone
that.
can see the cue, you might as well shout, "Get off your stool!" That would do the same thing.
But how did he cover it in case you were looking in the camera rather than looking behind the cameras?
No, you can see a banana.
You can see a banana.
Vision.
Look out to the back of the crowd there, Bob.
Yeah,
If someone was to hold up a banana, do you think you'd see it?
Mark,
Hold it, there we are.
Somebody is.
Somebody is doing it.
Oh my God! Off the stool! That is bizarre.
Why don't we try and recreate the moment?
I agree.
Okay? So here's what would happen. The three of you would go out front. Not yet.
Oh!
Out front?
And you'd lean...
I'm not wearing any trousers.
And you'd lean on the desk. And when I wave my banana in the air, you three will stand up together.
Yay!
One for you.
Thank you.
One for you. Enjoy it, David. Round to the front.
Come on, lads. I think I should be in the middle.
Oh, you want to be in the
by
middle?
all means.
Please,
I will cede the captaincy for the...
I did spend 14 years on the side, you know, at least I should be in the middle now.
Are you going to wave the banana?
I tell you what, the girl who's got the banana can wave the banana. OK, so here they are. a newly formed Westlife with You Raise Me Up.
Watch out for the banana.
Yeah, I am doing.
You raise me up.
Well done, yeah. Well done. Oh, that was beautiful. Beautiful. Well, Lee, what are you thinking? Was it true? Did Louis do that?
You know when you think, I'm not sure, we need to see it again?
Yes.
Afraid we don't have the time.
Okay.
What's it going to be? Truth
Well-
or lie?
Bob, what do you think?
Well, when I recorded my first shows I did on telly, my camera had a banana on it, so I knew what camera to look at. So I'm thinking maybe.
You think it
it's
might be true? Mel?
I think it's a lie.
OK, it's going to be a lie.
You're going to say lie?
Lie.
I'm worried
Okay.
now. Pressure.
Kian,
Fresh.
truth or lie?
It was, in fact, a lie.
Yes, it was a lie. Louis Walsh didn't tell Westlife when to stand up by waving his banana at them. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. This week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Richard. So, Adil, what is Richard to you?
This is Richard, and we had to spend an entire holiday hiding from an angry Greek man because we got lost at sea in his boat.
OK. Cian, how do you know Richard?
I know Richard because, basically, Richard outbid me at an auction for a waxwork of myself.
And finally, David, your relationship with Richard.
This is Richard. He recently let me take control of his crusher and destroy a car.
So there we are. Adil's boating buddy, Cian's waxwork winner, or David's car crusher. Lee, where do you want to start?
Cian,
Shoot.
what were you doing bidding for your own waxwork?
Well, put it this way, you know, in my house back in Ireland, I have a nice room full of, like, trophies and awards and stuff. And my waxwork was pretty decent. I thought, you know, why not?
Was it Madame Tussauds?
No.
What was the waxwork?
No. It was a place called World of Wax in Cork.
In Cork?
As opposed to World of Cork in wax.
Had you ever seen this waxwork before?
We'd seen pictures of them online and stuff like
But
that.
aren't
you
I
know,
right
on
in
the
saying
internet.
that when you do a waxwork, you model
Bingo.
for them? You actually...
Well, if you go to Madame Tussauds, that's what they do.
But
But
not
in
in-
the waxworks of...
In Cork,
in
they just
Cork.
get a candle and a
Yeah,
hammer
I mean,
and go... Oh.
this is like...
Ah, geez, that'll do. Right,
Yeah, I think-
get
I
me
think-
another big candle and a hammer.
You haven't said why Richard was bidding against you. Is he sort of
He
the
was
biggest
trying to get it
fan?
for his mother.
For his
mother?
mother?
Yeah.
Why his mother?
Because his mother was a huge fan.
Right, and what price did it go for?
I think about £3,500 in the end.
£3,500?
I'm not being rude, but how much would you charge per day to go round to his mum's and just stand there? Because I reckon for £2,500 he could have got the real thing for the day.
Lee, who
Okay.
else do you want to question?
Adol, you're in Greece, you're on holiday. Whereabouts in Greece?
Kavos.
In Kavos.
Yeah.
OK, and you rent a boat, do you?
Yeah, from the Greek man.
Right.
Yeah.
You go off, just the two of you.
No, there's two other guys.
Four of you in total.
Yeah.
What sort of boat was it?
A speedboat thing. That, you know, you go on holiday, you hire these speedboats.
Yeah.
Well, what went wrong?
Well, the Greek man, he told us not to go too far, but, you know, being lads, you're on holiday, you have a bit of a laugh, don't you? So we were on the boat and we just went as far as we can.
Which is how
Out
far?
to sea.
Out to sea, past the boys and all that.
What
And
boys?
Not boys, boys. So we went out too far and we ran out of petrol. So, yeah.
Oh.
Yes. So it's me and Richard and these two other guys, and we're on there.
Can we have names for the other guys?
Can't remember the Scousers. Scousers. Scouser
Terry
guys.
and Barry.
We'll just... Yeah, probably.
So what happened? You eventually got back. But
Well,
your very
eventually,
presence
but we
deduced that.
pitch black, and then we got rescued by fishermen. We got towed to the shore bit.
Yeah.
And then we got there, and the Greek man, the angry Greek man, was was angry with us. We couldn't understand him. He just kept on doing this to us.
That means your time's up, surely.
Lee, what about David's story?
Oh, yes, David.
David, just remind us of your
I said
connection.
that Richard, he let me take control of his crusher.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the
and
car.
destroy a car.
Right. Where was this?
It was in London.
How did it come about that you were taking control of the crusher?
I was walking along one of London's streets, and a football bounced out in front of me. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Yes.
You do know you're not reading the bedtime story on CBeebies, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
You had a magical tone to your voice then. It was lovely to see.
So the ball has bounced out.
Yeah, and I sort of looked to where this ball's come from, and it's come from a sort of place where they crush cars, you know, a breaker's yard.
Did you have the pressure of, oh, no, I'm supposed to kick this back, but I'll never be able to do it.
Oh.
I'll pick it up and hand it to them on a cushion.
No, I was keen to kick it back. And no, of course not. Yes, I picked it up because I thought I would present it back to them like a vase.
Well done.
Anything not to have to interact with it in a sporty way.
Yes.
And at this point, Richard was wandering out of the breaker's yard, and I, you know, sort of awkwardly hand him the ball, and he recognises me from television.
Oh, big head.
Yeah. And him and his friends ask if they can have a photo with me because of my fame. And I think beauty. And so they take a photo, and, you know, all fine. And then he says, would you like a go on the crusher? And the reason he says, would you like a go on the crusher, is he said it would be a good thing to say you'd done on Would I Lie to You? And it occurred to me that he was right.
Right.
And so he said, and it's very easy. The car got plonked in, and you press the crusher button.
And what actually happened?
And it's remarkable.
Is it just like Jaws? I mean, I don't mean the film. I mean, is it like that? Is that how it works?
Yes, exactly.
That's an epic moment in your life. I agree. That would be a big thing to be able to say.
Yeah.
I'd remember it really clearly if it happened to me. I wouldn't even hesitate if I was asked the next question. I'd be able to say it straight away. What kind of car was it?
It was a Citroën Picasso.
Right. And what colour was it?
Green.
And how did you feel as you crushed
There was
this
something
car?
about the way you said that, where your lips committed to it before your brain had.
So we need an answer here. Lee's team, is Richard Adil's boating buddy,
I know who he is.
Cian's waxwork winner, or David's car crusher?
Look at Richard's face.
Yes.
He says many things, doesn't he? But what he doesn't say to me is car crusher.
Absolutely. I think he's Adol's friend.
He's Adol's friend, based on...
They're neat. They're both neat.
They're neat. Mel is going for Adol. Bob's going I'm going for Adol, so we're going to have to go for Adol. I'm not going to argue with the team.
Richard, would you please reveal your true identity?
Hi, I'm Richard. Adel and I upset a Greek man when we got lost at sea in his boat.
Thank you very much, Richard.
Lovely, Richard.
Which brings us to our final round, Quickfire Lives, and we start with... It is Lee.
When my kids were younger, I designed a special system for remembering which Teletubby was which.
David's team.
OK.
Name the Teletubbies.
Name the Teletubbies.
Yeah.
All right. You had Cian. Oh, no, that's Westlife. Hang on. You had Poe, Lala, Tinky Winky, and Dipsy. And Stuart Sutcliffe, but he left before Ringo.
You know what colours each of them are?
Oh, you bet. You've got Poe, who is red.
Poe is red, OK.
Yes. Dipsy isn't.
Yeah. Dipsy. What?
Neither's Tinky Winky.
Tinky Winky.
And I'll say the same about Lala.
Winky.
So the system of your kids was just to find out which one was red?
No, Poe's the red one. The green one is Dipsy. Lala is yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow.
And who have I missed?
Tinky Winky.
Tinky Winky is like purple.
But how do you know? What's the system? How do you know that they're those colours? You said you had a system.
I have got a system. Do you want to know the system?
Yes.
Right. Poe,
Yep.
I remember as being like a post box, so that's red. Lala sounds like yellow. Well, it doesn't, but it sounds more like yellow than Poe, Tinky Winky or Dipsy. Tinky Winky, I sort of have a visual picture of him
A visual picture?
A visual picture, yeah. Yeah, a visual picture of him with his willy out, which I picture of him as his little Tinky Winky.
Purple.
Purple. Urgent and purple.
Deep sea sounds a bit like the deep sea, which is green. It isn't, it's usually blue, but the deep sea is definitely more green than it is purple, red or yellow.
Thank you.
I'm not sure about this Willy thing, because in the end you were teaching your kids, weren't you? So...
No, I didn't say I was teaching my kids.
No, he's teaching
There's
himself.
one thing my
So
family
remember.
never do, is we don't teach our kids anything. My father before me, his father before him. We haven't got where we are today by teaching each other things. No, this was to just so help me remember, because I would often say to the kids, pick Poe up, and the kid would go, loser, it's Lala.
The tragedy of this moment is that as a result of this, I will now remember the colours of the Teletubbies.
Thus proving the system works.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've certainly got a system now.
I've got a system.
I mean, I will remember Poe is red because of a post box.
Yeah.
Deep sea is green because it's like deep sea, which isn't green but might be. Tinky Winky's got an urgent purple member. No! Lala is yellow because it sounds more like yellow than the others, even though none of them sound like yellow. I will never be able to forget that.
I'm not saying he's a purple member.
David, is he telling the truth?
What do you think?
You know, the thing that gets me is, like, of course the system is completely and utterly daft, but he's pretty daft. And on top of that, he didn't get any of it wrong any time he said it.
He may just know the colour of the Teletubbies without... Because I think the system, effective though it's proved to be, is just something he's invented. I think we've seen him invent it. Do you think it's true?
No, I don't think it is. I agree with you. I think he knows the colours of the Teletubbies. He probably has watched it with his kids, but I don't think he actually has a system.
You think it's true?
Oh, no, let's not go down this road again.
Yeah. Well, basically, I'm going with you, whatever.
I'm just not
do you
good
know
at this
what?
game.
I think if I go with you and it turns out you're wrong this time, the only time I go with you, then I'm just going to find that funny. I'm just going to find it, you know, like the very end, like it's gone beyond tragedy, and you just laugh at death.
So you're going to say lie?
We're saying
regardless
lie.
of Kian thinking it's OK.
Yep.
You're saying lie. They're saying
like
it's a
the
lie.
confidence.
Lee, was it the truth or was it a lie?
It was, in fact, true.
OK.
Calm yourself, calm yourself.
I am so merry.
And that noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show, and I can reveal that Lee's team have won by 5 points to 0. But it's not just a team game. My individual liar of the week this week is Bob Mortimer. Yes, Bob Mortimer, who is what we call an excellent liar, or what estate agents call a beginner. Good night. Welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show with a fondness for fabulous fibs. On David Mitchell's team tonight, a chef who likes to experiment with food. As do I. Sometimes I put the beans under the toast. It's Heston Blumenthal. And a comedian who's so posh he employs a chauffeur to deliver his punchlines. It's Miles Jump. And on Lee Mack's team tonight, a member of the Fox acting dynasty. Her cousin is Lawrence Fox. Her uncle is James Fox. Her second cousin is Basil Brush. It's Amelia Fox. And a man who's gone from a long-haired layabout dreaming of becoming a comedian to a long-haired layabout who actually is a comedian, Ed Byrne. And so we begin with round one, Home Truths, where our panellists each read out a statement from the card in front of them. Now, to make things harder, they've never seen the card before. They've got no idea what they'll be faced with, and it's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. Miles, you're first up tonight.
After a visit to a school fete, I had to tell my neighbour their cat had been run over, while my own face was painted like a kitten.
Please, team.
Oh, please be true. Please, please. You were at the school fete as what? As a dad, or were you working on the stall doing the face painting or anything? Or were you
there was a sort of shift, so I did help with one of the stalls, but I was also there just as a parent.
What was the stall you were helping on?
Bric-a-brac.
Bric-a-brac?
Bric-a-brac.
How did you find out the cat had been killed?
Because it was killed regrettably close to our house.
What kind of cat was it?
A tabby cat.
And how was it killed, sorry?
Unfortunately, it was a truck that shouldn't have been... it was one of the very... not just a normal-sized lorry, a very, very long lorry that should not really have thought that it could drive around those streets, but was attempting to, and it flattened.
So you actually saw the lorry flatten the cat, and then you had to go and tell the neighbour?
Yeah.
I feel like this is the truth, except for the part about the truck and that actually you killed this cat.
What was the cat called?
She was called Jenny.
Jenny the cat. Jenny.
What was the owner called? Tiddles? In a horrible name mix-up, they started calling each other by the wrong name.
If you want to find fault with someone's cat naming logic, you've got to have a go at my neighbours.
Well, they're grieving. Let's leave them out of it.
Yeah.
Did
you kill their cat?
I didn't.
You say you didn't kill the cat. You might have been partly responsible because you were there dressed as a cat when it happened. It might have been the driver of the truck.
I wasn't dressed as a cat.
Has looked over and gone, size of that cat. Meanwhile, the little cat crossing the road has gone, is that your mummy? Those two incidents combined, you've killed little Jennifer, to give her her full name.
No, just either that or it was a hit aimed for you, and the description given was, looks a bit like a cat.
Did you pick the cat up and take it to the neighbours, or did you just point to the cat and say, that's where your cat is? No.
I didn't pick it up.
What happened when they answered the door? Talk us through that conversation. That must have been very awkward.
Had you still, at this point, not remembered that your face was painted like that?
No, I didn't realise until after I told them, and then I went home and went, I just had to tell so-and-so.
So they've opened the door. Can you remember anything about the first few words of that conversation?
Well, it was very awkward. I've never had to do that before. So I said...
Meow.
They said hello in a sort of cheery, maybe he's come round for some sort of jolly reason.
Well, no one gave them that impression.
And I said, I'm really sorry, but I'm afraid that I've just seen Jenny get run over.
And they said...
What?
What did they say then? Oh, sorry, you're acting.
They said what?
I thought you were asking me, sorry. I genuinely thought you didn't understand the question, but you were in character, sorry.
Yeah. If we get to a point where you're asking questions I don't understand, something has happened.
The regulars like that one.
And they said, thank you very much for telling us. And then I went back into my house, I live next door, and...
Did you go through the front door or back? When you realised you had your makeup on still at home?
My wife pointed out to me. I came home and I said, this dreadful thing's just happened. And my wife said, you know that you've still got your face painted like a kitten? And I said, oh, no.
Did you and your wife look at each other in shock and just feel terrible, or did you both instantly start laughing?
She laughed immediately.
She's an awful woman, though.
No, you're not. Ignore the Irish man.
You're the best female truck driver in the world. You're all right, Miles. You know that is furballs.
So what are you thinking, Lee? Does this have the ring of truth for you?
Amelia, what do we think?
I think it's a total lie.
Do you? Not even an ounce of truth in this?
Not for me. It's going round to the neighbours, and you haven't really actually told us anything about the neighbours. You haven't talked about who it was who answered the door and how you then got to talk to them.
All right, well, Paul answered the door.
Paul. And Paul is married too.
Paul is not married.
Oh, but you did say them. You told them that their cat had died.
Yeah, there are a number of ways in which people cohabit.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it.
don't believe it.
You don't believe it.
Are we going to say
Say a
lie?
lie.
Say it's a lie.
OK. Miles, truth or lie?
Oh, ye of little... It's a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Miles didn't have to tell his neighbour their cat had been run over while his face was painted like a kitten. Ed Byrne, it's your turn.
I once found a steak pie down my trousers.
David's team.
No further questions.
Was it hot or cold?
By the time I found it, it was body temperature. You know, it just air.
From which direction had it reached body temperature? From piping hot downwards or from cold upwards?
I think it had gone from room temperature to my body temperature. I was actually sitting on the tube, and I realised that there was a steak pie in my trousers.
Which line were you on?
Actually, you know, it wasn't the London tube. It was the Glasgow Underground, actually, more specifically.
So you're sitting there.
Yeah.
What time of day is it?
It was morning. I was on my way home, and I felt uncomfortable, and I put my hand down the
So
back
it's
of my...
early morning, you're on way home from some sort of party?
I was a student, and I think that answers all of the questions.
Were you drunk?
I was not drunk at the time, just because I was in Glasgow. No. I wasn't
No,
drunk
because
at the
you're
time.
Irish.
Yeah.
That takes the curse off it, right?
I surmise what had happened was I had fallen asleep in someone else's living room, and somebody thought it would be funny to put a steak pie, not just in my trousers, actually in my pants.
It was in your pants?
Yes.
Was it at the front, back,
It was
or
at the
side?
back. I would say what has happened is I've fallen asleep face down, and it has been shoved down the back.
It was down the
But
back.
I tell you, whoever it was made an effort. They pushed it. It had become...
It was down in the gusset.
Yeah. In fairness, I don't think they were really my friends. I sort of inveigled my way back into somebody's house without really having been invited. You know, there was a group of people going back, and I think I wasn't entirely a welcome addition to the evening.
So you wake up in the flat.
Yes.
You've been asleep face down.
Yes.
So you've not yet felt the effects of the pie.
That's right.
You stand up.
Yes.
You
Still
don't-
not aware of it.
You don't feel that there's something extra.
No. You're talking about a man who's already carrying quite a lot of weight down there.
Right. OK. So it's only added maybe 2-3% of the general wealth of matter.
Yes.
And then you walk, presumably, from this flat to this underground station.
Yeah.
You don't notice on that walk
No.
that there's something
No.
not
And I may
part
well.
of you.
For all I know, at that, I have been shedding pie crust like something from The Great Escape.
Wasn't it smelling? Were you not like walking along constantly going, there's a Greggs everywhere around here?
So then you get on the train. What point do you notice the pie?
You know, it's only a 8-minute journey then to my stop. So at some point there, it's only then while sitting
At
down.
some point. It's not the moment you sat down on a pie.
No, it definitely
That wasn't the time.
No.
It just you gradually became aware.
Yeah.
I
was
don't
like,
believe that. It was you've got a pie in your pants.
David, even if you don't believe it, you don't need to be angry about it.
I'm trying to break it. What sort of pants were you wearing? If that's not too sexy a question.
I don't want to sound like I'm making things up, but I don't remember exactly what.
Don't remember what pants you found a pie in. That's not a mental image that stayed with you.
Well,
the type of pants from which the pie emerged.
No, because
I would remember that.
They didn't emerge. I was sitting on the underground, and I went, and I just sort of, I put my hand down. And
Oh, can you imagine the face of the person opposite? Especially on
I
the...
started eating it.
So what are you going to say, David? Which way?
I think it's full of plausible detail, such as they didn't want you at the party.
We think it's true that he did have a pie in his pants.
Ed, was it the truth, or were you telling us a lie?
To my eternal shame, it is true.
Yes, I'm afraid that was true. Ed did once find a steak pie down his trousers. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Rodney. So, Miles, what is Rodney to you?
This is Rodney. I was so excited to see him driving my old car that I gave him a cheery honk and he drove into a hedge.
Heston, what is Rodney to you?
This is Rodney. He helped me break the world record for the most sit-ups in 2 minutes.
And finally, David, your relationship with Rodney?
This is Rodney, and he had to retrieve my shoe when a drunk man threw it at the Skittles in a bowling alley.
There we are. So, it's Miles's distracted driver, it's Heston's sit-up supporter, or David's bowling buddy. Lee's team, where would you like to start?
Right, let's start with Heston. Let's start with Heston. This 2-minute sit-up world record, how many did you do?
Was 128.
Whoa. You did more than 1 a second?
Yes. Because I've been looking at this for 2 years before, because I was doing about 3,000 a day.
You were doing 3,000 sit-ups a day.
And that's still not even the weirdest thing he's ever done.
So, can you do a sit-up now for us?
Actually, I can't, because I am having a hip replacement.
I'm not surprised the amount of time
so
you do sit-ups in 2 minutes.
What are you going to do with your old hip? Because I reckon you should make a casserole out of it.
So, how did Rodney help in a sit-up session?
Well, I needed somebody to spot me.
What does that mean?
It's basically somebody making sure you're doing the correct sit-up and then counting.
So he's like the ref?
Yes.
All right, who would you like to quiz next?
Yeah.
OK, we'll go for Miles.
Could you just remind us of the statement?
Driving along, I was very excited to see my old car, which Rodney was driving, and I gave a cheery honk. And as a result of that, he steered into a hedge.
Did you sell it to him?
No, I sold it to a dealership.
And then he bought it off the dealer?
Yeah.
Where exactly were you?
When he went into the hedge?
Yes.
Cornwall.
You saw your old car.
Yeah.
You don't know the guy driving it.
No.
And you think, let's honk at him because he's driving our old car.
Yeah.
And he'll be able to tell the difference between a cheery honk and a get out of the way, what are you doing, you crazy fool? Oh, that's our old car.
Or have you got a selection of honks? Is there like an aggressive one and one that does, you know, agadoo?
In retrospect, it wasn't well thought through.
No, you're right.
What speed were you going?
Well, we would have been going... It was windy lane, so probably somewhere in the region of 35, 40 miles an hour.
And was he badly injured?
No, he wasn't badly injured, but he wasn't as relaxed about it as he looks now.
So what happened? Did you then get out of the car and...
Well, I felt very guilty. Stopped the car, and I got out and I said... and he went, what are you doing? And I said, I'm really sorry that the reason I honked was because this used to be our car. Yeah. You're driving our old car.
At what point did he say, but why have you got a cat's face on?
I know.
How do you behave if you see a man and he's going out with a girl you used to go out with?
We're not talking about big numbers here.
Well, whatever her nickname was, we don't care.
OK, what about David's statement?
You'll have to remind us, David.
He had to retrieve my shoe when a drunk man threw it at the Skittles in a bowling alley.
What? OK, well, first of all,
yes,
what were you doing in a bowling alley? Second of all, what were you doing in possession of your own shoe in a bowling alley?
And thirdly, they're not called Skittles, they're called pins. But apart from that, so far, it's all adding up.
Surely your shoe was behind a counter somewhere.
Well, precisely, it was until just before it was chucked.
Oh, it wasn't the shoe you were wearing, it was the one that was in the bit that you swapped them.
I wasn't currently wearing the shoe. When he threw it, I wasn't in it.
Was it your bowling shoe that was thrown, or your own shoe?
My own shoe.
Who was the guy that threw the shoe?
I think his name was Chris.
And what year was this?
It was the year 2012 AD.
So you were So who was the guy that threw the shoe?
A friend of a friend.
So what's he done?
I'm getting my shoe.
Right.
We're leaving.
OK.
You know, the bowling expedition is coming to an end. Very sad time.
Yeah.
How'd it go, buddy?
So he's thrown the shoe at the skittle, and...
It wasn't just my shoe.
What did he throw?
There was a group of us, and we were all leaving at once.
Yes.
And he was part of the group, but he was sort of enjoying himself on a different level.
Yeah.
I'd say there was a disagreement in the group as to on what level life should be lived.
Yes.
And he was on very much the heightened, you know, tomorrow we may die.
So I can imagine you were lobbying other members of the group to join your level of life enjoyment versus
I was
his level
already
of life
very
enjoyment.
disappointed by the bowling alley's wine list. But this guy that threw the shoe, he was having a lovely time. Beer had been drunk. And when some of us were trying to get our normal life shoes rather than the magic shoes of bowling.
Do you get up in the morning and call them the normal life shoes? Just out of interest?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mummy, the normal life shoes. And the normal life vest.
Yeah. Think again. Today I shall have the skis of exceptional invention. So the shoes are being handed back, and this guy runs past, snatches 3 or 4 shoes.
Well, how many legs have you got?
No, they're not.
The friends, sorry.
They're on the counter at this point.
Sorry.
He chooses his moment frankly, with the accuracy of a sober man.
Yes.
And runs, and he do it with some sort of Viking shout of glee. Chucks them towards what I now realise are pins.
Right.
You haven't said what the occasion was.
It was a stag do.
A stag do for one of your chums?
For a stranger. I was the stripper. No, yes, a friend's stag do.
And how does Rodney come into the story?
He worked at the bowling alley.
Yes.
I think still does.
Yes.
And you can't just wander down. He went and he walked down one of the the gutters.
Did he?
And retrieved the shoes.
So did anything else happen on this stag night? Did they do anything to the groom, like tie him to a lamppost, strip him naked, anything like that?
Anyone get a steak pie down their pants?
No, because everyone had been invited.
All right, well, we need an answer. So Lee's team, is Rodney Miles's distracted driver, Heston's sit-up supporter, or David's bowling buddy?
Well, this is difficult, isn't it? Because you would have thought that if Heston would have been that good at sit-ups, I feel I would have known that.
One of the flaws I see in David's story is the idea that there was loads of their shoes were on the counter, and he picked up a load of shoes. Whereas when you're in a bowling alley and you're getting your shoes back, there's one person giving the shoes back.
So the flaw, I think, in David's argument is the amount of friends he claims to have.
I don't believe Miles'
I don't believe Miles.
You don't believe Miles at all?
You wouldn't just
At
honk
all.
at somebody just because they were driving your old car.
No. I thought it was Heston and David.
You think it's Heston or David?
Yeah.
You think it's...
I think it's Heston.
So that means that I'm going to take the mean average and say it's Heston and half of David.
So you're saying that it's Heston. OK. Rodney, would you please reveal your true identity?
Hi, I'm Rodney, and I helped Heston break the world record for sit-ups.
Thanks very much, Rodney. Which brings us to our final round, quick-fire lies, and we start with... It's Lee.
Every time I make a cup of tea, I pretend I'm in the World Darts Final and test out my skill at throwing the tea bag in the cup.
David's team.
That's not exactly what you have to do in darts, is it? How far away from the cup do you stand to throw the bag?
I do exactly 4 paces. But large paces, so, Rob, about 6 paces.
And what sort of tea bags do you favour?
The old David Mitchell chat-up line. The tea bag of preference is...
Use a pyramid bag?
No.
Or a frisbee like Tetley affair?
The little round ones, the round ones. Because as we all know, if you're going to try and throw a pyramid-shaped tea bag into a cup at 4 paces, well, you're an idiot. We all know that.
What's your success rate?
About 1 in 10. The way I do it is this. So you get 3 tea bags, you take your 4 paces, and then you do a little bit of a, you know, psych yourself up, pretend it's the World Darts Final, give yourself
have a pint of bitter.
Yeah, you know, put on a bit of weight, yeah. Get the tea bag and then give myself a bit of pressure by saying to myself, here he is, Lee Mack. He needs to get 1 tea bag into the cup to become the World Darts Champion. Can he do it?
If you get it in the cup, do you then say 180?
No, because there's only 1, so I just go, 1! But I'd usually end it, I go, 1 tea! And then I'll throw 3, and then I'll go back and I'll gather the 3, and I'll do it again, and then I'll give myself 1 final throw of 3s.
This sounds remarkable, and
Well,
we're all now picturing it, aren't we?
Yeah.
In our minds. How lovely it would be if we had a mug.
Well, that's the thing.
And if we had some tea bags, and if the mug, for example, got popped just on the desk there. Why don't you put it there?
That is far more than 4 paces.
Yeah, you've got to come over here. You come over here.
I tell you what, after this, we're going to forget all this truth and lies stuff. This is a much better game.
Right. So what I do is I go up to the cup like that, and I'll sort of do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
I'll often do this. I'll look to my right, might put the kettle on, get it ready, and I'll often look to the left and go, Rob, get out of the kitchen. And I'll go like that. I'll go, Heston, the beans are burning. You were in charge of them. David, put some clothes on. And then I will... The trick is to get... You can't squeeze too hard because you split the bag.
Oh, I know.
The trick is to give the tea bags a little shake, and then you've got to get them compact. I mean, it's a bit disgusting, but a real little trick is if you've got sweaty palms, you'll get a bit more, you know what I mean? A bit more
I've got sweaty palms.
Yeah, but I don't want you, because I've got to drink the tea.
Oh, right.
You're not always going to be there for me, are you?
I am.
At least say you're not, David. And then you put it onto your head.
Lee, just say, you've obviously got quite a large kitchen.
Well, no, because now I'm now in the living room.
But you just said the kettle's there.
Yeah, no, I keep my kettle in the living room. I'm old school. Why get up to make a cup of tea? Put it next to your sofa. Not an idiot. Right, and then you do that. You get it on your head like this.
Yeah.
Like that, and then you do that. I'll tell you what, when it hits the cup, it's a lovely noise. Now, at this point at home, I'll be going, because look at this. This is actually turning into an event now. And then I'll go, Lee Mack has only got 6 tea bags left to become the world champion. He's going to have to make sure that this one goes in, otherwise Joggy Wilson will be in.
Lovely. Well, there we are. So what are you going to say then, David?
Well, the thing is, it is difficult now, because whether or not it's true, he's definitely going to do it from now on. As am I. Do you think it's a lie?
I'm not sure.
I think it's true.
Well, I think we're going to say true.
You're going to say it's true. OK, Lee, truth or lie?
It was, in fact, true.
Yes, it's true. Lee does pretend he's in the World Darts Final every time he makes a cup of tea. Next, it's David.
There is something about me that elephants like. Every time I visit a zoo, they thunder towards me and point their trunks in my direction.
Right, please, team.
When did you first notice elephants finding you so attractive?
I don't think elephants liked me before I hit puberty.
And do you believe that puberty was the triggering thing?
Correlation is not causation.
Oh, another one of your catchphrases. I told you, they don't catch on, David. What's correlation? Get it.
OK, where were you? When did you first notice it?
think it was probably at the Cotswold Safari Park.
Right.
I'd recently become a man.
Yes.
Quite an imposing figure striding around the Cotswold Wildlife Park. Still intellectually juvenile.
Yeah.
I was still interested in the animals. And then I was passing the elephant's enclosure, and it swiveled its head towards me. It was quite alarming. And then it started to move slowly towards me. And then as it moved towards me, its trunk, it straightened. As if in arousal.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you ever been on safari?
No, I haven't, for obvious reasons.
How many zoological gardens / safari parks have you been to and observed this in elephants?
At least 9 or 10 sort of times.
You play you, right? I'll play the elephant. Right. Now, you'd like to walk towards me and I'll...
No, you've got to spot me. It's not about what I do, it's about... It's exactly like...
Is that how it happens?
Yes.
Wow. There was something about being the elephant then. I believe it to be true. I was... Have you always been with the same people or different people to the safari park? Has it been mixed up enough to know it's you specifically?
Yes. The only person who's always with me is my friend Kevin the bun seller.
So what do you think then, Lee? Do you think that's true, or was he making that all up? What would you say?
I don't believe it at all.
No. There's not even an ounce of truth in it. No. I think we're going to have to say it's a lie.
OK, so you say it's a lie. David, attracting elephants, truth or lie?
Well, it is a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Elephants don't thunder towards David and point their trunks in his direction when he visits the zoo. Well, that noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show, and I can reveal that Lee's team have won by 3 points to 2. But it's not just a team game. My individual liar of the week this week is Miles Jupp. Yes, it's Miles Jupp. He's as honest as the day is long, in the Arctic, in the middle of the winter. Good night.